Hello to all my knights and queens of the world. You already know who it is, and Mr. Royal Diamond, aka Mr.RoyalNieves, coming back at you with another what? Phenomenal video. So my topic is today it's gonna be about don't doubt the existence of God. Like I already had like what I wanted to say, but I just didn't have the topic or like the wording for it. So then God helped me with the topic basically. And I just want to talk about this because I was on not Snap, but I was on TikTok, and I was coming across certain things from certain people, and and how they feel some type of way about God, or they don't believe that God is real, and then they do all of this and then some to try to validate their unrealistic excuses as to not to believe. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to talk and let people know that if you never took the time to really, never took the time, effort, and the commitment to really to get to know God, then you will never find God. That's one. Two, God says in His Word that when you seek Me pure-heartedly, cold-heartedly, genuinely, then you will find Me. And I say this because all those who have God in their life and found God in their life, and because they sincerely found them. All those making all those excuses as to why they don't believe in God and all this other stuff, and making all this unrealistic topic of another energy source or of a so-called God, but like a different terminology for it, if you get what I'm saying. It's because they didn't really seek Him. Because if you're trying to look for God but you have doubts, it's going to be hard for you to come into into that state of believing. You know what I'm saying? You have to at least have some feet of faith in Him so He can work Himself in you. You understand what I'm telling you? So I just feel like a lot of people spend so much of their life, their time, their energy, their incredible way of thinking and understanding and articulation, and to try to prove something that is real, that is false, based off man, based off science, based off concept, illusions and unrealistic topic from the world. You get what I'm saying? Because I want everybody to know, because it's something I was talking to my grandmother as well, that when you seek God and that journey with you and God, it's a spiritual journey. It has nothing to do with a physical thing. You understand what I'm telling you? That's a whole different level. You first have to understand that concept and that logic. It's about a spiritual journey. It's about understanding something greater than what you understand now. Something that's not in a physical form but does exist in the world. And I say this and I backed it up by this. Everybody that was ever created and born, it was only one of them that was ever made and born. Even we're identical twins, even if there's 7, 10 of them, they're all different in different unique ways, from like skin texture, hair, the way they speak, carry themselves, the things that they like, the things that they carry themselves in. They're all identified different, even though they look identical. You get what I'm saying? Same thing, nobody has the same fingerprint. Another one, the universe. Before there was science was saying there was only one universe. It was on one Milky Way. It was only 9 planets. And as you've seen and witnessed over history, as we develop and grown, we've seen that there's many universes, many galaxies, many planets, many sun, many moons. You get what I'm telling you? So that's what I mean. That's how powerful God is. And this is my logic, because they say science says supposedly two particles or atoms or whatever it was came together, and there was the Big Bang and everything came into existence. But my thing is for you to understand, or see if you can understand where I'm coming from. If there was nothing to begin with in existence, there's nothing, it's a void, it's black, there's nothing. How was it possible for two things to exist in a nothingness? You know what I'm saying? In a void, there was nothing there. There was nothing there to start with. So how was it possible something exists in nothing? You get what I'm saying? It doesn't begin to make sense. Someone had to make something happen for that to come into existence. You get what I'm saying? But it's so much that people try so hard to debuggle, because deep down they know they believe, but they choose not to believe, because when it comes to God, you have to change and grow. And what happened is people are afraid to change and grow because it's in the unknowing. It's out of their control. They can't see it a physical thing. You know what I'm saying? Like this is a controller. You know what I'm saying? But the way it works and the logic behind it was because of God's ideas and the person who made this into fruition. You understand what I'm telling you? So that's what I mean. Like I get like so sick and tired of people wasting so much of their incredible energy and their mind and all of this to trying to make it seem like God is not real. Me personally, when I started my journey, I remember going to church when I was a kid, but didn't really understand the whole concept of a God and spirituality and this journey, and none of that. As I started my personal journey later on in my late teens, well, not my early teens, like around 13, 14, around there, and then I really took the time and really seeked Him every day. That's when it became apparent to me that He is real based on my testimonies in my life, in my journey. You understand what I'm telling you? So it's like knowing there's a fire, but then you know if you jump in you're gonna get burned, but then you're walking in an illusion that you're not gonna get burned if you walk through it. You get what I'm saying? It's kind of that concept. That's like a man-made concept. Spiritually, when you in tune with God, you will be able to do things that it will fathom the human mind and comprehension. And also, you have to understand that God Himself is not bound by any logic, concept, limitations, anything from like a human perspective. You get what I'm saying? From a science perspective, He is not bound by time, space, matter, essence, death, with. He's not. All that doesn't apply to Him. You understand what I'm telling you? He created all of that. He created the world itself, the universe, how everything is in a perfect alignment. Even if when you go through research about how they say if the earth was like not even half a centimeter off course, it will go into chaos. The universe will go into chaos. So what makes you think that there is not a God, that He placed absolutely everything in perfect alignment for it to exist in a beautiful and powerful way? Science can't even describe that. They can't even begin to understand or can even define that. You understand what I'm telling you? Because it's the truth. Because if that was the case, then the planets will continue to move like not in the orientation they are now, but in different aspects. You get what I'm saying? We probably, if that was the case, if God wasn't real, then we would have probably over time seen like 3 different moons in the sky, another 2 different planets. We probably would collide into another planet. But who you think keeps those things in alignment? Who you think wakes up the universe, the energy, people? Who you think does that? You really think that you can wake yourself up out of your sleep? Who you think wakes you up out of your sleep? You get what I'm saying? So it's crazy to me how people go so hard to be like, oh, He's not real, but don't use that same type of energy to actually take the time to develop that relationship. I only say this because I don't want nobody to lose their soul, and I don't want nobody to be lost. You don't never want to meet God the day of judgment, and He's like, depart from me because I don't know you, because you choose to deny Him and end up in this internal abyss of whatever. Everybody want to put all these excuses and all this stuff, but you know what? When you study history and you look at all, even from like Jesus Christ's age before all that, there's a lot of things that you will begin to question, like different creatures and different, like how the pyramids were made and all these things. Who you think helped those people make all these incredible things? It was God. You get what I'm saying? There's just things until today that people cannot even begin to understand and comprehend. But they try so hard. They try to understand something that's not meant for them to understand because it's not their place. You get what I'm saying? So this is what I mean. This is why I just hope everybody open your heart to God. And when you start your journey with Him, it's your specific, unique journey with you and Him. And allow that journey to blossom into what God wants it to be. Stop being so resistant and stop fighting what God is trying to do, because He loves you and wants nothing but the best for you and give you an abundance life. The reason why people still are in chaos and they're hurting and they still feel sad and all this other boo nonsense in the world and still entertaining toxic people is because they keep fighting what's meant to happen. You get what I'm saying? And what I mean by that is God's been trying to get your attention for a long time. You know what I'm saying? But you want to keep fighting Him. But so you can't be mad at Him because you're facing consequences outside His protection. You understand what I'm telling you? Because God is telling you, if you have me, you will have a better life. But you keep choosing not to believe in Him and you're having a hard time in your life and in the depths of your life. You can't be mad at God and can't blame God for that. You should not to be in accordance and alignment with Him. He can't work with someone who's going to blatantly not believe. You get what I'm saying? Because He gave us free will. Free will is the power to choose. And what God says and what He wants you to choose Him because you love Him willingly. You follow Him and you are dedicated and faithful to Him because you love Him and care for Him as much as He cares for you. Or because you know He exists, He is real, and you just want to be free with Him. You understand what I'm telling you? That's why I keep saying you have to be a willing vessel. Because if you're going to continue to this journey, it's not going to be pretty for you. You know what I'm saying? I know it's kind of hard to swallow, but it's the truth. Look at all those people who continue to disobey God, and look at the chaos they're in. You know what I'm saying? Look at the things they go through in life. It's crazy. You get what I'm saying? But it's like you have. It's the truth. It's like if you don't follow certain things, you're not gonna be in alignment with Him. You get what I'm saying? You have to do your part as well. You know, and it's crazy to me because these things I'm singing is from younger generations. Like these are like young bucks. And the thing I don't understand is like, where is God? Like the teaching of Him for the younger generation. Like I don't understand. Like there's parents who know about God and believe in God, but yet you're not teaching them. You know, and God says you have to instruct your children in the ways of the Lord. You know, to give them the best possible option in life, having God's protection when they're not around. You know, something you got to get out of your own selfish ways and really look at the main priorities and what the importance of those priorities is. You get what I'm saying? Because, and the same thing with like, well, I was talking about like the TikTok video, they'll try to talk about certain things that happened in the past. That's what I mean. You have free will. So if you choose not to obey God, right, and you choose to do all this craziness, you can't blame that on God. You can't blame certain things for God when you choose to take that upon yourself. Because sometimes before you do something wrong, your soul starts speaking to you. You know, you start feeling bad, you start feeling guilty, you be like, don't do it. But if you choose to deny what God is telling you to prevent something from happening and you continue to do it, then that's not your fault. That's not Him. He tried to warn you. People really have this this concept or idea that God's supposed to leave heaven and come down so you can believe. God will never leave His throne until it's time to claim His people. You understand what I'm telling you? So we really got to get out that mindset, thinking that God's supposed to really be like, make Himself known to everybody, like in his true form. You understand what I'm telling you? God said when He shall reveal Himself, that's when He's coming and claiming people. That's when everything is supposed to be like, you know, whatever, however that may be. You understand what I'm telling you? That's what I mean. You know, so a lot of things in the past, you know, when God was around and stuff like that, a lot of people had their own traditions that went against what God was saying. A lot of things happened because they went against what God was trying to tell them to live and understand. You understand what I'm telling you? Because it's like this. It's like He has two people, you know, and it's like, okay, God is real. And, you know, He's telling both people, like, okay, I give a solution so you both can come together. And there's peace and harmony, which He wants for the entire world. But what happened is some believe and obey. Some had this rebellious attitude to be like, oh, I don't have to listen to you, da-da-da. And what happens is, like, especially like the wars that happened back then, you know, before Jesus and all that stuff, all that happened is because those people were doing things that was not in alignment with God. You know, when you are in alignment with God and you believe in God, He protects you from a lot of things that are seen and unseen, and even in the future, prevent things from happening in the future to keep you safe, to keep you prosperous. You understand what I'm telling you? So that's how it works. If God is telling you something or He's nudging you, then just listen to Him. He's not going to hurt you. Like, He loves you. It's like your parent. You get what I'm saying? At the end of the day, like, people have this really big thing, like, and I don't understand, because it's like, you can't go around saying God's not real if you never gave Him the chance. You get what I'm saying? Same thing with relationships. It's like, if you never get that person to make it right or to actually work it out, both parties, you can't go and be like, oh, this person is this, that, and third. No, y'all choose not to make it work. It's that simple. It's common sense. This is what I mean. People spend all this logical mindset trying to be like, oh, God is not real, da-da-da. But it's the most simplest thing. God is the most simplest thing. He is not a complicated God. It's white and black. You know what I'm saying? It's the simplest thing. It's like us humans are programmed to make things complicated because it's deep down it's hard for you to believe, because those faiths, that spiritual side was not engraved in society to the point that people walk by faith. You understand what I'm telling you? Because that's why God says the difference between God and man. You know, truth and illusion. You know, reality and false. That's what I mean. You know, but you have to start your own journey so you can find these things out for yourself. That's why I encourage you. Don't listen to all this nonsense of other people who you can clearly tell they're not happy with their life and they're not happy with themselves because they don't have God in their life. You know, God provides certain things in your life that remains you to be happy. You know, certain wisdom and understanding that He reveals to His people so they can stick out from the rest of the world. You know what I'm saying? If people choose to be negative, it's because they choose to be negative. They don't have God's favor or His love or that essence that keeps someone positive, even when they're feeling like they're falling apart. You understand what I'm telling you? That's why God is so incredible and so beautiful in all His ways. And I just encourage you guys not to doubt doubt his existence, his faith, just because you have your own lack of misunderstanding. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, like whatever is going on in your life, and I mean this for as God's people. Let me make this clear. For God's people, I'm not talking about religion. I'm not talking about sex, sexual orientation. I'm not talking about woman, man, child. I'm talking about everybody. Everybody's included, because the Bible does not discriminate on nobody's things. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't say like black, white, Jewish, Pakistani, and all the other stuff. He may have reference to them, but he's not judging nobody based on them. He did not say only white people are blessed and Hispanic are doomed to hell. No. It's equal. It's an equal playing field for all of those who want to choose and find God and love Him. You know what I'm saying? Because it's really crazy to me that people really sit here and do the most, yo, and want to be like, oh, God's not real and blame Him for everything. But you're not doing your part. Like, you're not taking responsibility for your part in the situation. Like, that's the most craziest thing. When are we going to start taking responsibility for our life? When are we going to start growing up already and being mature? Like, I don't understand what's the problem. It's like you're so quick to judge everybody else, but it's like you don't. God says it like this: when you point one finger to one finger to a person, you have three pointing right back at you. He said you cannot remove somebody's eye from their eyes unless you remove yours from your eyes. That's what he means. Judge not, you will not be judged. Point blank. Period. So I don't understand. You know what I'm saying? I understand it may be hard for you, because of society and what you've been through and social media and all this vast information coming at you. But once you get to know God and start that journey, your heart just melts. Your spirit rejoices. You can tell when God is around. Like He's always around, but I mean you feel it. Like you feel alive. Like you truly feel alive in your skin. You don't feel like you're empty and sad and the negativity. That's not from God. That's from the enemy. You know what I'm telling you? That's why God gives us specific instructions in the Bible how to live your life, so you can remain a peaceful, willing vessel of reflection of who He is, His love, His tenderness, His mercy. So when you walk in life, people know you belong to God. Things happen for you. People can't even fathom. Favor and blessing bestowed upon you. But you have to do your part. I feel like people take everything so face value without taking the time to digest all that information and really build a personal relationship with God. You can worship Him, read the Bible day and night, memorize it, but if you do not open your heart to Him, you will never have a relationship with Him. He's looking for your heart. He's looking for your heart. He's looking for your heart. Because in your heart, when you give Him that faith of seed, or that mustard seed of faith, that's all He is asking, and that's all He needs to perform His breakthroughs and miracles in you. So when you look back in your life and you talk to other people, you can testify how real, amazing, and breathtaking God is. And it would demystify all these lies of like science, from science, men, the world, people, all this other stuff. So that's why I said, don't doubt the existence of God, because you choose not to do your part for that to be a reality in your life, or a testimony of truth in your life. You know what I'm saying? I'm just so tired of people attacking God. Like, that's the most crazy thing. How will you feel, right, if you see your parent and people are just attacking him? All these random people. How do you feel? How will you feel witnessing that? It wouldn't feel nice, right? You're ready to go to war, right? It's the same thing. There's no difference. The only difference is your parents that God gave you, their physical form. God is a spiritual being. He lives in the heavens. He lives far beyond this that we can begin to understand. It's that simple. I mean, it's really not that complicated. That is what I mean. Like, spend that energy, your time that He does give you in building that relationship with Him, so you could be free. That's why He created you, to live a prosperous, happy, and free life, an obedient life. Because just like the other side of the coin, if you're living your life and not following certain rules or things that you learn from, you will constantly be in turmoil, depression, negativity, despair, sadness. That's the result of you not listening to certain ordained instructions. Same thing for a person. You know what I'm saying? As a person or as a child of God, there's a reason why those things are in place. Because it's just like if your parents tell you don't play with knives because they don't want you stabbing yourself, but you continue to do it and you get stabbed, you can't be bad nobody by yourself. You get what I'm telling you? It's logical sense. It's not that. It's not complicated. It's really nice, black and white, simple. It's not. We make things complicated based off so many things. Just so many things. When you could just all that energy and strength just invested in God, and He will not fail you. When you look for Him, He will not fail you. And then that's the honest truth. When you turn from Him, He will turn from you. You know what I'm saying? Well, I mean, not to the extent of that, but you know what I mean. It's like, there's only so much God can do. If you're not willing to listen. It doesn't mean He's not gonna love you less or be there, whatever the case may be. But He might not be there the way you need Him to be. You get what I'm saying? So don't miss out an opportunity to truly know who you are and the life that God has for you and who God is and just God Himself, not what He can do for you, but how beautiful God is Himself and Jesus, and give yourself that fighting chance. Remember, don't doubt the existence of God. God is beautiful, God loves you, and God is very real. I just don't want you to ever face Him one day and then He doesn't recognize who you are because you choose to believe everybody else and their mama down here on earth because of a physical thing. You get what I'm saying? There's layers to this. You know what I'm saying? He's beautiful and He's worthy of all your praise. When you really sit there and take account of how merciful God is and how much He cares for you, it will blow your mind. If He even revealed to you all the stuff He protect you from, all the incredible things He did for you, like you can see every single last thing that God did, it will blow your mind. Blow your mind. You'll be speechless. So that's what I mean. Don't doubt the existence of God. You already know what it is. I love you. God bless you. I thank you. Comment, like, and subscribe. Share, follow. You already know take the world by storm, and it's just to live our beautiful life. Let's blossom and become just free in God and ourselves, in our journey and our truth. Until my next video, peace.